I got it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Number 10. Too bad, so sad. Judge Judy has little patience for this hilariously brief case between two ex-roommates, and things do not end well for the plaintiff.
That's not a case. So, sorry to tell you, we don't do cases like that because it's ridiculous.
Immediately after her case is dismissed, she starts sobbing as if on cue. If she thinks crying might change the judge's mind, she must not have watched the show before.
But I wouldn't have had a place to live.
But you don't have a cause of action by moving into a one-bedroom and asking her to pay the difference. That doesn't happen. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Her friend's reaction as she rushes over to comfort her is just the cherry on top of this ridiculous ending. Considering how harsh the judge can be when she's annoyed by a case, the plaintiff here is lucky she got off so easily.
Who are you?
Her friend, Natalie.
Natalie, do you have an apartment?
I do.
You could have moved in with Natalie.
No.
In any event, there is no cause of action for paying the difference between the roommate's half and your apartment now. Do you understand?
Number 9. Video replay. Litigants are usually on their best behavior in court. They better be, because Judge Judy tolerates no disrespect.
Your Honor, this is a video.
Don't. I have eyes. Just give me the date of the video.
When the defendant in this case brings video of the plaintiff angrily kicking in her door and wrestling the phone out of her hands, the judge can see exactly how the alleged assault occurred. It's a deeply uncomfortable moment.
Did you put your hands on her?
Wait.
Did you? Just a second.
Okay, after that video?
Did
No.
you? You kicked in her door. Play it
No.
again, please.
Kicked in the door.
Play it again, please. Kicked in the door with an attitude that was crazy.
Even though the offending woman denies what everyone can clearly see, she can barely contain her anger toward the defendant and even the judge. Judge Judy simply is not having it.
You had no right to do that. What, are you out of your mind? You had no right to do it. And there is no question in my mind that a person who could knock with that attitude that I saw caused this injury.
She has the video played again so everyone can see what happens when you don't control your temper.
I
wasn't even home, Tiffany. I was at school.
She attacked me.
You're a liar.
Just a second.
You're a liar.
Don't speak.
You're a
You see
liar.
what she's doing? I know who she is.
Yeah, it's sad.
Just a second.
It's sad.
I know who she is.
No, you don't.
Number 8. Broken toilet. You have to be 14 different shades of petty to sue your friend for breaking your toilet, but that's exactly what this plaintiff did.
How do you think she did that?
She must have fell on it. Fell on it. She must have fell back, sat on the toilet.
But you don't know.
I'm positive she's the only person that used the bathroom that night.
Lisa Reed claims that her pal must pay for the receptacle because she was the last one who sat on it before it cracked. But that doesn't sit well with Judge Judy or the audience, who can barely contain their laughter.
No, all I want to know is, did you fall on it? Did you kick it?
Heck no.
Did you hit it with a hammer? Did
No,
you hit it
no,
with a,
no,
did
no.
You, did you hit it with a wrench?
No, Your Honor, no,
It
no.
broke.
That this plaintiff thinks she's in the right for doing her former friend this way and trying to humiliate her on national TV is the height of arrogance.
You're not following me. I agree with you. The toilet broke while she was using it. That doesn't mean that she broke it.
Luckily, Judge Judy knows just how to make a wrong-headed litigant look even more ridiculous. Number 7. Dance break. We've seen a lot of interesting behavior in the Judge Judy courtroom, but we rarely see an interpretive dance. As Dr. Noel Howell lays out his case for the judge, he's very serious and respectful of the court proceedings.
Melissa had to leave for a number of reasons. The main reason was because Melissa was incapable of doing her work.
So when he decides to add an impression of the plaintiff's drunken antics into his testimony, it definitely surprises everyone.
Why? Why?
I got it.
Yes, Your Honor.
His dancing and shrill vocalizing bring the courtroom to hysterics, and even the witness can barely hold himself together afterward. One thing Judge Judy can always do without is a dramatic reenactment.
Completely false and hilarious.
And the weed is too strong for her.
That I do not smoke marijuana.
She'll just take the facts, please. Number 6. For mature audiences. When Judge Judy asks the plaintiff in this case about her quote-unquote adult novelty business, she and the courtroom audience get an earful.
What is adult novelty?
We go into homes and hold parties for adults, with lotions and potions.
If the cutesy, suggestive names for the products weren't enough to make us squirm, the fact that one of them was returned without being cleaned is. Judge Judy covers her face in disgust, and we're right there with her.
The Eager Beaver, which appeared to be used, so that may have been used, but we would have appreciated that to have been cleaned up before she returned it to us. And then the Tickle and Taste was broke.
By the time the plaintiff finishes listing all the missing and damaged items she's suing for, the judge, the audience, and the viewing public know more than they ever cared to. Whether Judge Judy really didn't know what adult novelty meant, or she just knew the plaintiff's explanation would make great TV, we thank her for asking.
That kind of adult party.
Yes.
I didn't understand. I really didn't understand what that was from your complaint.
Number 5. A cruel plaintiff. Judge Judy has seen her fair share of delusional litigants, but this plaintiff really takes the cake. Wendy Moore's 14-year-old son allowed a friend to drive her car, and they got into a wreck.
You let your 14-year-old son drive the car, he says.
Only on the property.
I don't care if he drives on the property, if he drives it on Pluto.
The friend, another teenager, was tragically killed. Moore decided the best course of action was to sue the dead girl's mother for damages and medical bills.
I mean, do you honestly believe that you have a case? Do you honestly believe that any fact finder, whether it be a judge or a jury, is going to find your position sympathetic, Miss Moore?
That she would sue the grieving mom at all is bad enough, but the plaintiff seems to have no sympathy or guilt at all for her own role in the tragedy. The judge expresses her distaste for Moore's unfeeling attitude and sends her out of the court with nothing but a tongue lashing and a $5,000 judgment against her.
Instead of saying that, you sue her for the damage to your car. You're an idiot.
Number 4. In hot water. You know your roommate's bad when you end up on Judge Judy together.
So it's her apartment, the two of you were living together, and you moved in as a roommate.
This case deals with a woman whose former roommate allegedly poured boiling water on her while she slept. Even though the plaintiff repeatedly denies any illicit substances were involved, her own evidence says otherwise.
Is it accurate that the three of you were doing drugs that night?
No, Your Honor, it's not.
Is there any reason why you think that this officer would write this?
Yeah, the officer is a Fugazi officer.
The woman's repeated accusations that the responding cop is a
Fugazi officer
alone confuses the judge. But the description of her injuries and the revelation of her apparent substance use is striking.
That's what you told the doctor.
No, that's not what I told her.
So you mean the police officer got it wrong and the doctor who admitted you to the hospital got it wrong?
Judge Judy seems genuinely concerned for the woman's well-being, telling her that if she had been sober, the officers may have been able to arrest the defendant.
The reason that they didn't take you seriously is because you were so high on drugs that you were in an altered state. Do you understand?
Number 3. A special stew. This next dispute involves two sisters and one very unlucky deer.
She took your car, you say without permission, had an accident, you want her to pay for the damage to your car.
When the defendant, Carol Dettenheim, hit a deer with her sister's car, she did the only sensible thing she could do. No, she didn't wait for the authorities. Instead, she made a meal out of the animal.
What'd you do with it?
Ate it.
Her sister, plaintiff Eve Dettenheim, says she declined her portion of the dinner. She explains that she didn't want any
rigor mortis stew,
to which the defendant takes immediate offense.
I did not have rigor mortis, so I went back.
That is just sick.
That both women can keep a straight face during this hilarious exchange is as unsettling as it is hilarious. This is just another day for them. But for us, it's courtroom comedy gold. Number 2. Overreact much? In Judge Judy's courtroom, judgment can be swift and merciless. That's what plaintiff Caroline Fawcett finds out during this brief case about room and board fees for a horse she had leased to own.
You made one payment of $100, and you sold the horse to her for $1,500, which means she owes you $1,400.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Clearly, Caroline doesn't expect to lose this case because her reaction when the judge rules against her is the stuff of bad community theater.
We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
While she leans over the podium like she's about to have a massive coronary, the audience members behind her can do nothing but cringe at her histrionics. Some say if you walk the hallowed halls of the Judge Judy set, you can still hear her hyperventilating.
Oh my gosh.
Number 1. Tupperware Lady. All hail Tupperware Lady. She's a Judge Judy legend, and for good reason.
She didn't throw all of her Tupperware on
Yes,
you.
she did. Yes,
How did she
did.
Plaintiff Karina Roy's testimony includes a dramatic reenactment of a particularly savage Tupperware attack. What makes this one so bizarre is the clear disconnect between her spirited retelling and the actual events she's describing.
And when I'm down, she's leaning her whole body into me, pointing her finger in my face. How dare you? Don't you even dare. Shame on you. That's it. I want you out of here. And she hit my head with her finger. She had all of her weight on me.
Next. So what happened next?
It'd be hard for anyone to sell a Tupperware attack as a traumatic event, but Roy's wild gesticulations and aggressive finger-pointing don't do her any favors. The studio audience behind her can barely keep it together, but the judge is completely unamused. Litigants should always remember that the only finger-pointing and yelling allowed in Judge Judy's courtroom is her own.
And said, hey, and looking directly at me. And said, hey, the babies, as she's looking at me.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.